Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time.
It looks like Will and Jada just couldn't keep up the front anymore because the word on the street is that Jada finally announced they're getting divorced and people are screaming, "About time!" A bad marriage can only drag on so long before somebody snaps. But here's the real question. What finally pushed them to pull the plug? And does it have anything to do with those down-low whispers about Will that have been floating around for years? Crazy how fast their story flipped. Not too long ago, Will and Jada were Hollywood's golden couple, the kind of love everyone claimed they wanted. Now, folks are clowning them, calling out their drama, and saying they're tired of the act. Remember when they were the symbol of true love in a cutthroat business? Then 2020 hit, and Jada dropped that infamous entanglement bomb. From that moment, their whole image went up in flames. Nobody looked at them the same way again. And that entanglement didn't just hurt Jada, it had Will looking wild too. People couldn't believe he sat there cool with another man being with his wife, even giving his blessing for it to happen. The internet dragged him nonstop, but somehow Will and Jada doubled down, acting like their so-called life partnership was unshakable.
I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's name
out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm.
But let's be real. Since then, more dirt kept piling up and their relationship looked stranger by the day. In 2023, Jada dropped her book, spilling all the tea, saying their marriage was broken from the start. Will had already put out his own book back in 2021, admitting to infidelity and major tension, but Jada's tell-all, it shut his all the way down. She revealed they'd basically been separated since 2016, living totally separate lives while still parading around as a couple. And get this, Jada even admitted she stayed despite being miserable because she once promised Will there'd never be a reason for divorce. Imagine being trapped in a broken marriage just because of a vow you made decades ago. Separation was fine, but divorce, never. That's exactly why Will and Jada tied the knot without a prenup and leaned into this so-called life partnership instead of a regular marriage. On paper, it looked perfect. Two megastars building a powerhouse brand, a Hollywood empire built on love and loyalty. Why ruin all that by breaking it apart? But here's where things got messy.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life.
Jada openly admitted they had been separated for years and even entertaining other romantic flings. But the way she told it, it sounded like Will never got the memo. Fans were left wondering if Will was still fighting for a marriage that, in Jada's eyes, had already ended long ago. And then came the scandal that nearly burned Will's career to the ground. Just before Jada's explosive book hit shelves, Will walked on stage at the Oscars and delivered that infamous slap to Chris Rock. All because of a G.I. Jane joke aimed at Jada. When people rewatched the clip, it was clear as day. Will laughed at the joke at first, but the moment he caught Jada's cold stare, everything changed. Next thing you know, he stormed up, smacked Chris across the face, and yelled, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth!" The entire world was stunned, and Hollywood turned on Will overnight. The fallout was brutal. Major film roles snatched away, brand deals dropped, his once untouchable image shattered in seconds. After the slap fiasco, things went from bad to worse. Instead of repairing his image, Will's meltdown only dragged their marriage deeper into the spotlight. Suddenly, people weren't just talking about Jada's entanglement anymore. They were dissecting every little thing about their so-called life partnership, and trust me, it wasn't pretty. Then Jada decided to light the fire even higher with Bombshell interviews promoting her book. She revealed that not only had they been living separate lives since 2016, but she admitted she was shocked Will even called her his wife during the Oscars slap. According to Jada, she was sitting there thinking,
the PR of it all, the life partnership is not working. He has a woman that he's in love with, and she is not black. And he is now talking to lawyers. The issue, and so he is setting up to divorce Jada.
Why is he calling me his wife? We haven't even been together like that for years. That revelation had fans floored. People started clowning Will even harder, saying he was out here embarrassing himself for a woman who didn't even claim him anymore. Social media was brutal, calling him a lost man, a puppet to Jada, and even accusing her of humiliating him on purpose just to sell books. And while Jada was out here spilling tea, Will went quiet, only releasing carefully worded statements about healing and growing. But the silence didn't save him. It only made the public believe that Jada had all the power in their marriage and Will was just stuck playing defense. By now, what once looked like Hollywood royalty was starting to look like a never-ending soap opera, and fans couldn't stop watching. As the dust settled, Hollywood insiders started whispering, and it wasn't in Will's favor. People who once praised him as the ultimate leading man were suddenly questioning his choices. Not just in his career, but in his personal life too. Behind the scenes, the talk was that Will had sacrificed his reputation trying to protect a marriage that was already gone. Big-name directors and producers quietly began distancing themselves, worried about his unstable image after the Oscars. Roles he once could have gotten with a single phone call suddenly weren't there anymore. Instead, studios were moving on to safer bets, leaving Will scrambling to hold on to his A-list status. Meanwhile, Jada was doubling down on her truth bombs. In interview after interview,
"Dear Will Smith, someone has to say it. Jada don't want you no more. You know, when she bought the farm in Maryland and she decided that that was going to be her thing, you should have left her right here in the good state of Maryland. Let me tell you why. I think Jada married Will because obviously he was like a great catch, right? It's Will Smith. He's on the precipice of being this major superstar. He accomplishes all of those things."
She painted a picture of a marriage that had been crumbling from day one. She admitted she never even wanted to marry Will in the first place, saying she felt pressured into it. That confession alone had people questioning their entire love story. Will had to drop a whole apology video just to start patching up his broken image. But when Jada's book came out, she completely separated herself from the slap fiasco and basically said, "That was all Will. I had nothing to do with it." And that right there left a sour taste in people's mouths. It's one thing to disagree with him in private, but to publicly throw him under the bus after he humiliated himself defending her? Fans said that was cold. It became obvious Will was fighting for a marriage alone while Jada had already checked out years ago. Still, despite all the humiliation, Will kept showing up for her, making it clear he'd stand by her for life. But lately, the energy's shifted. The only time we even see them together anymore is at family events. Otherwise, they're living separate lives.
And I think she was pressured from family and friends and outside influences. I don't think it's what Jada wanted to do. Jada is not happy with herself. I think now that she's promoting her book Worthy and she's getting more in-depth about her relationship with Tupac that was platonic, but at one point he did ask her to marry him. She turned him down, so then he friend-zoned her. I think that's one of the biggest regrets of her life. And so Will is paying for all of that because Jada picked her second choice. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the consolation prize. Like, okay, I'll take Will.
Will has been out here focusing on himself, dropping a new album, and even performing on the streets of London like he's back on tour. And then came the moment that had everyone talking. That sizzling performance with Spanish singer India Martinez. The two were all over each other on stage, and fans couldn't stop replaying the clips. To make it even wilder, India was spotted backstage literally jumping into Will's arms like he was a single man. Pictures don't lie, they looked way more than just friends. From Instagram posts to cozy appearances, it's clear Will and India are spending serious time together. And people are whispering that this isn't just a fling. It's Will finally living like a man who's done playing house in a dead marriage. Some say the reason he's been away from home so much is because there's nothing left to go back to. Ever since Jada's infamous entanglement went public, Will has been dragged through the mud, his brand, his masculinity, his career, all tested in front of the world. He's endured endless humiliation, but through it all, he's somehow managed to keep his career intact. Meanwhile, Jada hasn't lifted a finger to help protect his image. In fact, critics argue that her constant oversharing has been the biggest blow to Will's reputation. Now the buzz is that Will may have finally realized he doesn't even need this marriage anymore.
And so I'm gonna be honest with you. I am extremely happy that Will is finally waking up and seeing this for who she is.
He looks freer, happier, and more alive without Jada in the picture. But make no mistake, Jada hasn't been blind to his new moves. Insiders claim that Will's steamy kiss with India might just be the final straw that pushes her to file papers. And with no prenup between them, you can bet this divorce is going to be messy, expensive, and explosive. At this point, it feels like the fairy tale died a long time ago, and the only thing left is for Will and Jada to sign those papers and set each other free. Their kids are grown, their secrets are out, and the world is waiting for the final curtain call. But what do you think? Will Will Smith and Jada Pinkett finally make that last move and call it quits for good? Or will they keep dragging out the most exhausting marriage in Hollywood history? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. See you on the next one. And if that wasn't enough, Jada exposed how they kept up appearances strictly for their family and brand. To the public, it looked like they were united, but behind closed doors, they were two strangers living completely separate lives. Fans couldn't believe it. The couple they once admired as the definition of Black Hollywood royalty now looked like they had been running the longest PR stunt in the industry, and the act was finally unraveling right in front of everyone.